2020 has been a rocky road, but what will the following year bring? Will the coronavirus mutate into something more dangerous? Will the election results cause mass riots? Is there a chance that the COVID-19 vaccine could be toxic? Stay tuned to see what people have predicted for 2021. Coming in at number 10, we have the coronavirus mutates. I mean, it's been something that has changed the whole world. Everyone has been going in and out of lockdown, and catching the sickness apparently sucks. It can make it feel like someone is sitting on your chest. But let's just think about this for a moment. What if it got even worse? What if the coronavirus chugged a monster energy drink and then became something even more powerful than it was before? And what if it's able to go over level 9,000? As of right now, we're good, and it seems like most of the world has this under control. There's even word that a vaccine could be out this year, and there's things like Regeneron, whatever the hell that thing is, but it seems like it works. So we should be pushing back against this virus pretty strong. But what if right when we fix things, but right when it seems like we're putting the genie back in the bottle, we have the world come crashing down, and then the virus gets even worse? Well, let me tell you, I'm going to get way better at video games because it looks like there would be way more indoor time. If this does happen, please let it go down during the winter because I want to be running around half naked during the summer for 2021. And remember guys, you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell, and stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to be answering some exclusive questions from my Instagram inbox. Coming in at number 9, we have the crash of the labor market because of mechanization. This has been on the horizon for a long time, with factory jobs being able to be done more and more by robots. The idea of being a cab driver or a truck driver becoming the thing of the past with self-driving cars, and every last fast food and retail job being taken away because we now have self-checkout and burger making machines. That's millions of jobs gone. And while a future where robots do everything that we don't want to do sounds like a paradise, there needs to be some balance put in place. If there are no jobs to replace the millions of jobs lost, then you need a universal basic income to fund these people. If there isn't any sort of support and no way to make money, then you have people running around in the streets with no money and a lot of desperation, and that isn't what we want to see. But this might bring us closer to a utopia. My idea of a utopia has always been that robots take care of all the stuff that we don't want to do, and every last person is free to just work on art and science or whatever their heart desires. You can just watch football all day if you want. Coming in at number 8, we have the Earth finally breaks. This bad boy has been cracking for a little while. We have seen the effects of climate change creeping in for years, and really, we have not slowed down that much outside of the pandemic, forcing us to stay inside and lower our carbon footprint. But is it enough? Have we turned around what we've been doing fast enough to stop the Earth from breaking? Because right now, we have been seeing some pretty devastating events happening. There have been forest fires around the world, droughts in the Middle East, and the polar ice caps are melting. But what's the next thing? Could we see the pH levels in the ocean get messed up, and we'll have mass die-offs of marine life, and thus huge food shortages? And you don't want to see what happens when people get hungry. Coming in at number 7, we have chaos in the streets. This has to be the most watched election ever. What is going down in the United States is going to determine the fate of the country 100 times over. If the whole world is watching, either way it goes, we could have a ton of angry people in the streets trying to tear each other apart. I mean, it's so hard to know what to believe. When you know that there was Russian bots influencing the last election, you better believe that they have them on every Reddit thread and Facebook page this time around. And what will happen after the election? Will people accept the electoral results and then move on with their lives, or will people start to tear down the world because they didn't get their way? Trump was even talking about how he might not accept the results if he loses. What does that mean? Can you do that? Can you lose and just say no? How would America react to that? What is going to come in the future? Coming in at number 6, we have someone dethrones Joey Chestnut. We all know the champ. He's the biggest one out there. The guy who has set the record for the most hot dogs eaten in a single sitting. The guy who has chomped down more grub than any other person on the planet. The guy who has the title as the top dog of the competitive eating world. We all know that I'm talking about Joey Chestnut. What if a new kid on the block comes through and takes the title from the champ? I mean, he has been on top for a long time, so maybe he's getting a little too old to keep chomping down with these kids. We all remember when Kobayashi was the hot dog eating champ of the world, but then young Joey Chestnut came in and stole the title from him. It will be a very sad day for everyone around the world to see the one true champ go down and lose. But hopefully 2021 doesn't bring something this devastating. And coming in at number 5, we have the Area 51 invasion actually happens. There have been a lot of talks of making the Area 51 gathering a yearly thing. Now, of course, with the coronavirus, people have been gathering in large groups, and who knows when this will come up again. We might not be able to have mass gatherings for another 2 years. But let's say we get all this virus stuff figured out, and then we have an Area 51 reunion. Will people actually come out to raid it this time? Maybe if one of my last points happens and there's mass chaos in the streets, then that will leave the whole base open for a crew of people to sneak in and try and take it down, and let all the secrets out. This might be so cool, but there might be some stuff locked away in there for a reason that we should never get our hands on. Coming in at number 4, we have anything from space. Space is an endless void of mystery and terror. Some of the stuff out there is very interesting, like life on other planets, and the idea that we could move to a new planet if we really screw this one up. But then there's things like black holes that are billions of times heavier than our sun. Those things are kind of spooky, and what if some of that stuff starts to come in contact with us? I mean, anything could come in from space in 2021. We could have an asteroid fly in and smash into the planet, sending us into an early extinction. That's not that crazy to think about either. In 2019, there was an asteroid that passed by the Earth that was 1/5 the distance of the moon away from the planet, and NASA didn't even see it until 2 days after it passed by the Earth. What if we get in contact with an alien race that isn't so friendly, or there could be some sort of solar flare that smacks into the Earth and sends us all to hell? Coming in at number 3, we have bad vaccines. This is something that's going to be on the table probably pretty soon. It seems that the trials with the vaccine for COVID-19 have been going well, and we might see some medical help in the form of a vaccine come very soon. But I don't know if I want to be the first in line to get this product. Remember when plasma TVs came out and they were all the rage? And then there was all these problems with them, images would burn into them and you couldn't leave them on? Then not long after that, there was a better version with the HD TVs that had none of those problems. You never want to be the early adopter of new tech. You want to wait to see how it affects the market before you make any hard choices. And the same thing could happen with vaccines. We could have a bad batch that makes people sick. There were a few strange things that happened with the swine flu vaccine. There was one girl who had all sorts of neurological problems after getting the vaccine. She had none of those problems before. There's a chance that this vaccine could be rushed because of the state of the world. Let's just say I'll wait for generation 2 or 3 on the vaccine before I get it. Coming in at number 2, we have no kissing on the lips. What if this becomes the new standard? Remember how you could give out smooches like it was nobody's business? You just walk up to all your boys, you give them a few smooches, you say how's your day going, and then you give them a few more smooches. Going on dates and meeting new people, would you both have to get a COVID test before you would feel comfortable kissing? What if that becomes the new normal, where people are afraid to kiss people? Then you have kiss dealers who are just waiting around to give out kisses to people. Just people want to feel the warm touch of another person's mouth. $100 for a smooch, $300 for a makeout, and $500 for tongue. We slowly see kissing become a cultural taboo, and none of us are allowed to lock lips ever again. If someone catches you kissing out in public, you get fined or even arrested. I mean, that sounds like a dark, twisted Orwellian future that I really don't think will happen. And coming into the number 1 spot, we have the end of privacy. We have seen this start to happen more and more. It started with Alexa in your home, listening to you all the time. Google Home was the next one. We know our phones are listening to everything we say. We all get random ads that pop up. It's always something that we were just talking about, something that we have never Googled before in our life, and next thing you know, you have ads for it all over the place. Now we have PlayStation letting users send in voice recordings of people who were rude to them, who they were playing online with. On top of all of this, Facebook has been selling your data to the NSA and has been tracking your information. It's been proven that Apple is working with the NSA. It seems that these massive companies will keep painting us into a corner with listening devices until they know every last thing we do. They'll label it as convenience or necessity or even safety, but really they just want to know more information about you so they can make more money. Alright everyone, that has been the list. Now I'm going to answer some questions. When Patrick A. Hill wrote in and asked, when cleaning your dishes, do you lick the remaining food off them before cleaning? No, I don't think I've ever done that before. Maybe I did it once when I made something like really good, but I don't think I've ever done it. I mean, if I did do it, that means the food I made was so damn good. So maybe I should be doing it. Our next question comes from Nathu Paz, who wrote and asked, do you have any advice on being cool? Dude, I have no idea. I'm not cool. Just get as comfortable in your own skin as possible, and then you'll start to feel really cool. I think that's it. Josie Paula wrote and asked, Which one is better, hosting or stand-up? Now, which one do I like more? Stand-up. That's my passion. That's what I love to do. I wouldn't be a good host without it, but I still do love hosting. It's an art in itself, and I feel like I'm getting better at it all the time. All right, everyone, that has been the list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Jade Arena, and hopefully we all have a good 2021. Bye. And while a future where robots do everything, and while a future, you better believe that they have them on every Reddit thread, and there have been a lot of talks of making the Area 51 gathering. There have been a lot of talks of making the Area 51 gathering a yearly thing. And what if some of that stuff we could have it. Coming in our next.